to Working on It. I'm Dr. A and I'm a clinical psychologist aiming to make your life just a bit more manageable. Remember, the tools and the tidbits that you pick up on this channel are purely educational. They can't replace therapy, but with some practice, they can help you along in your daily life. So let's get started. Today, we will be working on toxic families and what to do with that and how we were socialized and brought up. And I want to actually let you in on a phrase that we were all socialized with. You probably know the phrase I'm going to say. It's in our everyday language, and how that phrase actually doesn't mean what we were taught that it means. I had a lot of people reach out to me and ask me to do a video on toxic families. You guys can reach out to me as well. I realized that I've never really, people just came across and found me on there, but I never really gave my Instagram handle on here. On Instagram, I do little videos that essentially introduce the topic of what I'm going to be talking about right here on YouTube with you guys. So that Instagram handle is Working on It, no G, all one word, Working on It with Dr. A. Working on It with Dr. all one word, A. You guys can find me on there. I know I've asked for topics and it's difficult sometimes for people to put it down in the comments. They don't want to be the first one to say something or the only one to say something. So you guys can comment on my Instagram. You guys can message me on there and suggest topics that you would like to see me do, like the one that was suggested, which is toxic families today. If you have a completely healthy relationship with your family, this video might not be for you. It still might be interesting to watch, but I think a lot of us have difficult family relationships, all the way to really toxic, poisonous ones where you have to distance yourself entirely. But it's a difficult thing, right? Because we are socialized to believe family over everything. We are socialized that way in society. We are socialized that way by the people that are around our family and around us. It is a normal thing to be told, right? So what's tough about that is that sometimes it makes it hard for you to stand up for yourself and create boundaries, because this idea of family over everything, right? And the truth is that people don't know what goes on behind closed doors, because your family might be one way to one set of people, but behind closed doors, when it's you and them, they may be a completely different way, right? So people don't see a lot. So the advice that they're giving you is based on this nice mask that they're seeing and not what goes on. So if you feel like there are patterns where you feel neglected, where you feel hurt, and you even feel abused in one way or another, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, physically, whatever it is, behind closed doors, and you express how you feel about it, you express that this is hurtful to you, and the patterns continue, and you feel dismissed, and you feel neglected, and you feel gaslighted, you're the crazy one, you're the one with the problem, and this goes on sometimes either weeks or months or even years, decades sometimes, then this video really is for you. Because I want to talk about one of those phrases that we're socialized with that makes it hard for us to stand up for ourselves and makes us feel like we just have to swallow the abuse and the neglect and the snide remarks and the controlling behavior, right? One of those phrases is, say it with me, I know you know it, blood is thicker than water. Haven't we heard that about 5 dozen times just in the last few years alone? I'm sure you have. I have too. Blood is thicker than water. And what is that meant to mean? When we are told, well, blood is thicker than water, or we hear somebody say it, it's meant to mean family over everything. The bond with your family is thicker and more important over everything. So just let that go, or don't worry about it, or they love you, or they just mean the best for you, but it just doesn't come out always really nicely, right? Blood is thicker than water. But what I wanted to get on here and share with you, and maybe I'll do a different video too on toxic families, but I just wanted to share with you my favorite phrase blood is thicker than water and what it actually means. It actually means the exact opposite of what we're socialized to think that it means and what we're socialized to respond with. The full phrase that nobody says, the full phrase is not blood is thicker than water, period. The full phrase is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. And does it mean family over everything? It means the literal exact opposite. It means that the bond that you create with the people that you choose in your life, family we don't choose, the bond that you create with the people you choose in your life, like friends, coworkers, people that you meet on a team or a league, people you meet in the army, whatever it is, the people that you choose. That bond, the people that you fight on the battlefields of life with, that you get over really difficult hurdles, they support you through pain, through trouble. They're there for you for exciting times. You pick them up through the adversities of life. That the bond with those people is much stronger than the bond of the people that you have through the water of the womb. The bond of the people you choose and you face adversity with is thicker and more binding than the bond that you're bound to through the water of the womb than those people. Okay? So the next time you hear blood is thicker than water, in your mind you could say, that's not the full phrase. That actually, if people are repeatedly hurting you in any capacity, you no longer have to feel like you have to swallow that pain, like you have to explain it. Maybe this time they'll understand. Maybe this time they'll understand. It is more than okay to distance yourself in however you need that distance from the people that are hurting you, especially if they're family. And instead, turn your head to the blood of the covenant, to the blood of essentially people who you choose to be your family. People who have different patterns of being there for you regardless, not judging you regardless, picking you up regardless, celebrating your accomplishments regardless of what they look like. The blood of the covenant and people you choose is stronger than the blood of and than the water of the womb, than that binding thing that you have with family. Okay? This is really, really important to know, because a lot of people feel through phrases like that and little things that people say here and there, like, well, I should just suck it up. This is family. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to suck it up. You can choose to shift your focus, your energy, your love, your attention to the people who have chosen you. You can choose people who have chosen you repeatedly in return. I post videos every Tuesday now. Tuesday and Friday was getting a little overwhelming. It's so hard to put together some of these videos, to keep coming up with new topics, plus my job and seeing patients. So I'm only going to be doing these videos on Tuesdays, and hopefully you guys can soak in all that information. You guys can have longer to practice with the things that I give you, rather than learning 2 new topics a week. I think was too much also for you guys to be practicing. It's much more realistic for me to ask you to practice 1 tool a week. So I will be posting Tuesdays now. And like I said, please keep practicing, keep thinking about the things that we're talking about. Go back and watch older videos. There's always things, even though I'm only going to do once a week now, there's always other videos that you can go back to and incorporate if you're wanting some new material to practice. In the meantime, remember what we talked about. If you have a toxic or harmful or difficult family pattern, don't allow these little phrases that we hear on a daily basis to really get in your mind and prevent you from standing up for yourself, from speaking up for yourself, and more importantly, creating healthy distance. Okay? If you have a suggestion on a new topic that I should do, please reach out to me. Again, working on it with Dr.A on Instagram. I always said I'm never going to get Instagram, but it's going to allow me to hear from you guys, this nice community that we built of over 300 people now, just under 300 people. And you guys can reach out to me and suggest new topics to me. Let me know if you're working on the things that we've talked about. I would love to connect with you guys. Until then, you got this. See you next time.